Every trade you take, before you take them, you tell yourself you're going to lose.
I know how much I'm going to lose, how much I can lose.
But you have some traders that says you need to risk more or you need to be a little bit more aggressive. So you have traders that go up to 5% per trade risk, even 10% or even 20% per trade risk. So why do you choose 1% versus 5, 10, 20?
So that goes along with my trading journey. I started off with stock options. Stock options, I was pretty much told 20%.
So how did you get into like the psychology aspect of trading?
I started for me, before I was like a nurse, I wanted to get into psychology. But what does greed feel like? What does greed feel like to you?
Me?
Yeah.
Boy, that's a tough question. What does greed feel like to me? Welcome to the Billionaire Podcast, the Miami edition. We're here with Hiza Trades. That's Shahiza Lugo, right? The name kind of, you have to catch it. You have to be a professional to catch it, right? So we're in Miami and we're chilling, we're vibing, and we had such an amazing conversation since we've been here with her, and we decided, hey, let's do a podcast because she has a lot of knowledge to share, and y'all are gonna be amazed by the time you're done with this podcast, because we're not just talking about trading, like how we normally talk about it. We're talking about it from the psychological level, as well as, we're talking about digital products, her journey in terms of the different fields that she's in, because she does many things and her brain operates like clockwork, So it's she's very quick with a lot of stuff. So you'll be asking her questions about credit, or you'll be asking her questions about business and trading and just the psychology of trading, and she reads probably 1,000 books. I'd say, based on her collection. She probably don't count, but I feel like she gone over 1,000 trading books, because what she does also is she will read all the books for you, the psychology books out there for you, and then she would summarize it. You can have it in a more digestible form, right? So we're going to allow her to introduce herself. I'm not going to talk too much. A lot of the surprise is going to be inside of the pod. So be sure to like, share, subscribe to this video, and be sure to comment in the comment section below what you like about it. What you recommend asking next. We're collecting all the questions and we're watching all the feedback so that we can actually, ask her stuff for you and then provide them in probably other bite-sized videos to benefit you, or we can just schedule another podcast and then we'll just do a follow-up, because I know you guys are going to get a lot of benefit from this, especially. This is why the introduction is long, right? So welcome again to the Billionaire Podcast. Hiza Trades, Shahiza
Lugo. Okay, guys. So I think that's my time to introduce myself. I am Shahiza Lugo. I go by Hiza Trades, but definitely have been trading for over 4 years. And I've been doing a lot of different things in the meantime. I went through a 9-to-5 phase and I did basically everything. But long story short, I'm blessed to be here and we have a lot to talk about.
We have so much things to talk about, and we're glad you're here as well. Let me shake your hands. You gotta have that welcome shake.
Yes, of course.
So how did you get started on your journey?
So for trading, I got started on with a friend, because going on to Google saying, how do we make money?
Yeah.
Because working a regular job was not cutting it. And the issue about, I live in Hawaii, so I'm from Hawaii, and it is normal for everyone to have 2 jobs. I'm talking about everyone in the household having 2 jobs, and we have a thing called generational homes. So generational homes, we have everyone in the family living with us. So we have grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone in a small house, because it's expensive. That's the only reason why. And you get a lot of people who get priced out of paradise because they can't afford it. And it's sad, and it's the truth. These are people who have generations of families that have living there, that have been there, but it just gets too expensive and they move to the States because they can't afford it.
So let me ask a question.
Yes.
Where you're from, Hawaii, right?
Yes.
And you said a lot of people move to the States to Hawaii, right? That's what you just said?
They move out of state.
Move out of states to Hawaii?
No. From Hawaii out to the States,
okay. So that's what you did as well?
So no, I did not.
What did you do?
No. So what I did was, I ended up, when I was 18 years old, I joined the Army.
Yeah.
So, I joined the Army because I was my parents couldn't pay for school.
Yeah.
And I'm okay, they had a nursing program. So I did that. And then after that, I was in the Army and I'm like, okay, this is not cutting it. I don't want to be living my life being dictated by it. And the Army plans you everything. You know what you're eating, you know what time. It's like such a schedule where freedom is not a thing.
Yeah.
You have to ask for leave. I can't just quit my job.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. And that's crazy. Think about being stuck. And like 9-to-5s or regular jobs, you can leave.
Yeah.
You have the choice.
Yeah.
But now when you get put in a position where you don't have a choice, you're either going to hate it or love it. And I'm the one to make my own plan.
Yeah.
So I used the Army to the advantage, got the educational benefits. But in the meantime, I was focusing on other opportunities.
Yeah.
So that's when I got into trading.
Okay, so what has the journey been like in terms of like, since you got into trading? But before I ask you that question,
Yes.
right? You said that, you know, you were Googling and you found information on the internet with your friend, you know, about trading. But like finding information is one thing,
Yes.
but actually utilizing it and actually being able to become profitable from it is another thing. So how are you able to actually filter out, you know, bad information versus good, as well as utilize it to your benefit to start making the type of money that you're making right now?
It took time
Took time?
because I had information overload. I didn't know what I was doing. I was grabbing all the free information. And then I also invested in myself. I took out like some of my credit cards and I spent it on a mentor. So kind of crazy. And then with that mentor, unfortunately, I didn't make any money.
Yeah.
And I was just lost.
Yeah.
I was like, what did I pay $2,000 for?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, let me buy another one because now I just spent $2,000. So now it's like, I have to give my investment back.
Yeah.
I have to get what it is. And after going through a bunch of mentors, I decided that all the information can be found within yourself.
Yeah.
And you just have to have the discipline on the charts.
Yeah.
And it just takes time in and time out on the charts.
Yeah. So would you say that like being in the Army helped you with the discipline, or it
It did,
did?
but then it didn't. Because like the discipline with the Army, it teaches you about yourself, don't get me wrong. But the discipline with trading is a little bit different because it plays a mental game on you.
Yeah, so how would you describe that to the viewers?
The discipline with trading is the only reason that you can lose is because it's your fault. So you have to find the mistakes within yourself. You don't have nobody telling you what to do. With the Army, you have everyone telling you what to do. So when you make a mistake, but with trading, you have to figure out what mistakes you're making and not make them.
But how did you get to the point where you're like comfortable with figuring the stuff out yourself versus, okay, you have all the things handed to you like you were in the Army?
So I went through what works for me because then I started making a trading plan. You know, I didn't really understand what a trading plan is.
Yeah.
But then now it starts like going through supply and demand, using what works for me. Does like RSIs. I had a bunch of indicators. I was one to have everything saying buy, sell. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I was in signal groups. Signals groups was the worst for me because it made me depend on somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I will never want to do in my life. I never want to depend on anybody.
Yeah.
So now, especially in the charts, and if you don't understand that, hey, you shouldn't be depending on anybody, the knowledge should come from yourself.
Yeah.
You should know exactly why you're taking a trade, not because I tell you to or he tells you to. It doesn't matter. When you are entering a trade, even if it is a signal from one of us, you should know why we are taking it.
I know you enjoyed this video, but Pro Traders Fund is offering traders more capital to trade. So you don't have to use your own money. You're able to trade risk-free, keep up to 90% of the profits you make, plus you're able to withdraw weekly, bi-weekly, instantly. You're able to trade on your own comfort anywhere in the world, right? So visit the link in the description, visit Pro Traders Fund, get funded today, start trading risk-free, Pro Traders Fund.
So that goes into me asking myself, okay, why am I taking this trade? Why do I think price is going with that?
Yeah.
Because now you have the actual the actual thing, like the objective of the trades.
Let me ask you now, right? So being in these different signal groups and, you know, being a part of, like, for example, you had the bad experience with the mentor that you had, right? Most people would have given up and be like, this is not for me. I wasted $2,000. You know, I'm gonna just probably just stick to the Army or stick to the job or just focus on nursing, right? What made you not do that? What made you continue trading?
Because people make money.
People
You
make
know,
money.
and it's just it's just seeing it, the motivation that's saying, hey, why is it working for them? Something has to be there. So when you find out the why, it's like, okay, their why works for them.
Yeah.
So I found out my why.
Yeah. How did you find it out though?
The why within yourself is really what motivates you. Because motivation, your why will beat your motivation. You don't want to wake up at 5 in the morning every day. I would wake up for London, so that's 3 a.m. Before my job at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So I would stay up from 3 and then I would finish work at 7 p.m. So from 3 o'clock in the morning, I would be up. So I'll wake up at 2:30.
Yeah.
And that was because I did not see myself in a 9 to 5.
Okay.
And I had to.
So your why was that you never wanted to be in a 9 to 5?
Yeah, I want freedom.
You want freedom. But then, so how do you manage that? You wanting freedom, but then you said that you want to be a nurse as well. So how does that work? Like because being a nurse would require you to be in a 9 to 5 position or even more than a 9 to 5 position. So how do you, wouldn't you say that is a similar thing?
Yes, but with nursing, nobody wants to work weekends.
Nobody wants to work weekends.
Yeah, that's like any job, you know?
Yeah.
So I would pick up weekend shifts. I would suck it up and trade Monday through Friday and then work weekends.
Okay, so that is on your current journey, or is it that the current past or future? So say for instance you reach there, because I don't know your highest level of journey. Maybe
Yes.
you're doing nursing because you want to probably start, a business out of it. Because you can start businesses
Yes.
out of it. Maybe that, or maybe you're doing nursing because whatever reason it might be.
So it's
right?
because of the business aspect. So I
Business
always want to
aspect.
be in nursing because it is always there, the man. And for me, I want to be a mental health nurse practitioner because I can do telework. So
What does telework?
I can work from home, any job, and I can take care of patients from my own home. That means I can build a schedule and I can open my own practice. As a nurse practitioner, you basically hold the license that you can open your own practice. That means I make my own hours.
So what you're basically doing is that, because we're talking about the 9 to 5, because the thing is, for example, going to trading and say, hey, I want to get rid of my 9 to 5, right? Like when you say that you're still studying nursing, you're still
Yes.
doing nursing, I was kind of wondering, because I'm like, you're doing nursing, which
Jumping
is
back into one.
jumping back into one, right? And that's why I asked you, like, is it for like business purposes or is it that just to work, or you love the job? Because a lot of people love the job and will do trading still while loving the job.
Exactly.
Right? And then also a lot of people will use trading to fund that specific thing, whether it be the business or whether it be, just their passion of nursing, right? So you just told me what exactly you're doing it for. All right, but what is your overall ultimate goal out of trading?
So for me, trading is a tool to use. So it is not just, okay, yeah, I'm just a full-time day trader. No, I use that money and I start making other investments. So that's whether that's into my nursing business, because I never want to pull out of my own pocket. I always want to make multiple streams of income. And then that's also getting a bunch of passive income set as well.
Yeah, what are some passive income you'd recommend beginner traders right now? To make money while they're making money from trading, to make money to put back in their trading account and stuff like that.
E-commerce.
E-commerce?
But it would be something that you don't touch. There are people who will say, hey, I have an Amazon store, I can manage it for you. So, or managing funding, because there are people who manage funding as well, and you can do that. So it really depends on where you want your money to go and what growth rate you want.
So how do you identify this though?
I found this out through my friends.
To your friends? Oh.
Yeah. So, because they've been doing it. So now it's now I'm getting into community, okay, this is of course, when I get my profits, I pay myself, I put some in a live account, and then I reinvest the rest. That's the 3 ways of my money split for my profits. So then now it's reinvesting. It's really okay, I ask questions because I'm not the best. There's always someone better. So now it's reaching out, hey, what do you do? And you guys can always reach out to me saying, hey, where should I put my money? And of course, I'm going to give you my opinion and you take it how it is and do your own research.
Yeah. All right, so if I was to ask you right now, or the viewers are supposed to ask you right now, where should I put my money? Hiza Trades, I'm a trader, I'm making money. Or I'm a trader and, I have a 9 to 5 right now. I don't want to make more money on top of the money that I'm making. Where would you tell them to put their money?
It depends on how much you want.
How much?
Yes.
So is there a specific amount?
No, or percentage back, because I think that's important to people. You should know if you're putting your money somewhere, you should have okay, I want a certain percentage back. You should never be investing your money saying, okay, I don't care what I get back. Because then that's you thinking about the full plan. So you as working a 9 to 5, you should always be thinking long term. So figure out everything, figure out A, B, C, D, E, and then jump in.
Okay, so give me an example. If you were supposed to make, somebody's asking you that question right now, how much would you say to start with, and what exactly, or what way to start, what way would you recommend for them to start?
If they're a profitable trader already?
No, not profitable.
Or right now, it would be the biggest investment you can make is in yourself. So I'm not saying get a mentor, but start looking at different things that interest you. The thing is, if you get into something that doesn't interest you, you're not going to stick with it. And then you're going to find reasons to blame why that never worked. That never worked because essentially you failed because you quit. That's the only time you guys can ever fail, is you guys quit. And if you quit, that's because your heart was never in it.
Okay.
So I would say find what your passion is, look into that. And there's always, nowadays, because of COVID and everything, you can make work, it's work from home, technology is a big thing. You guys can find something within your passion that you guys really care about, and you guys can do enough research, and then you guys can put your money into that.
Okay, so what about a person who has money already?
Okay, so let me give you an example, right? Because I know you want an example, okay?
Example.
So for me, I invested in an e-commerce store on Amazon, okay? I put 15 grand, okay? I get my ROI, which is return of investment, back in 6 months. So now I know I'll get my 15 grand back. So basically it's risk-free,
Yeah.
okay? And then what you guys are smart, when you guys are doing this, you guys have to make sure that you are doing this with credit cards, okay? Or if you can, because debt, everyone in America, or just people think debt is bad, but debt can be used to your advantage. Because if I decide to pull out 15 grand, now, yes, I have 15 grand, I can use that, but why would I use my own money? Okay, I'm gonna open a credit card, look for a credit card that you can apply to that has 0 interest for, let's say I just got a credit card, 0 interest for 16 months, okay? And I found a person that I can get in an Amazon store, give him 15 grand, I get my ROI back in 6 months. So that means I spend 15 grand, I pay that back within 6 months, and that's still within the, 15-month 0
period.
interest.
Yeah.
Yes, so 0 interest period. So that shows the credit card users that, wow, I just paid 15 grand in 6 months, and it'll affect your credit score, making it go up. Okay, and that's a good thing. And then now I have passive income, because with these e-commerce stores, just be careful with it, do a bunch of research. But if you find the right person, because there are people who manage stores, and when you find the right person, it's a pretty good ROI. It's a pretty good return, like every month, passive income. Because right now I'm expecting 4,000 on the low end.
Yeah.
On the high end, 10 grand a month. And that's not me not even touching
Per month.
it. Yes.
Of that initial 15K investment.
Yes, after
Gotta talk
6
about
months.
that.
So
Gotta talk about that.
it's big. And it's out there, guys. You guys just have to really find ways, but then you guys have to get connected, because there are people looking for clients, So don't think, oh, I have my money sitting in the bank. Because honestly, I don't have my money sitting in a savings account.
Yeah.
I don't.
Always
I have it in a high yield savings account. It's a little bit different. You guys should definitely look into it. But a high yield savings account is one of the best saving accounts you guys can get. Because if you think about it, the bank will loan out your money. It sounds crazy. I could have 10 grand sitting in the bank, and they're gonna loan out my own money to somebody who wants a car loan. So let's say if you guys don't know this, right? Let me just break this down. So I have 10 grand in my bank, okay? And then we got Pajama Billionaire, he wants to buy a car. Okay, so now he's gonna take out a loan from the bank. And where does this bank get all the money?
Yeah.
It uses everyone else's money.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna loan you for what? An interest rate off of my money? And I don't get anything off of it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane to me, But this is the banking system. This is how they make money and how they cycle your money.
Yeah.
This is how they cycle your money, and they just keep it going. And the thing is, financial literacy is not taught. So everyone thinks it's safe to have it in a savings account.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. So it's like, because we grew up, okay, always have a savings account. Don't get me wrong, emergency funds, you need to have that. You need to have savings, that's very important. But where you put that, it can benefit you. Because a high yield savings account, depending on what type of high yield savings account, because there's American Express, there's just other platforms as well. But with the high yield savings account, you can get a percentage interest back on your money. So your money's just not sitting there.
So how does one set up these things though?
So I'm going to use American Express. So you go on an American Express, okay? And they have it. They have a high yield savings account. And you can type it, or you can call them, say, hey, I want to open a high yield savings account. They'll walk you through the website. So guys, nowadays it is, or you can type in high yield savings account and it will come up.
Yeah.
And just call them if you have questions and stuff, just call them immediately, because you don't want to go on their website and get frustrated. A lot of people get frustrated. Oh, I don't know how to do this, and they just stop.
Yeah. So what about a person who doesn't have good credit or access to credit at all?
For a high yield savings account, or
not high yield trading account, just not high yield savings accounts. The
investment themselves?
I'm talking about because you said initially you took out some credit cards.
Yes.
You paid for a course and you started learning, you probably fund the account through
Yes.
the credit card. What about a person who doesn't have access to a credit card or access to a loan like that? How would they get started?
I'm gonna give you the sauce right now. I was like, it's as simple as this. Okay, guys, you guys need a trading plan. Okay, this is like when you guys are looking at the charts, find something that works for you. There's ICT, there's price action, there's a lot of things that can overwhelm you, but do what works for you. Okay, for me, I use supply and demand and a little bit of smart money concepts. The only smart money concepts I use is fair value gaps. Okay, and with that, trading works for me. But while you guys are filtering through your information, how you guys filter what works for you, write down all your mistakes. And your mistakes are why you lose a trade. So when you lose a trade, write down everything that went wrong.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna write this down on a piece of paper because you'll see it. And then you can remind yourself every time. Put them into 2 columns. One is gonna be mental. What was mentally wrong with it? Was it fear? Was it greed? Is that why? Or was it technical? Oh, I didn't get in because it wasn't at a key level.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't at this. Oh, the candlesticks. Oh, it was showing me a reverse pattern or whatever you guys use. So as you guys are going through these methods online, because you will, you guys are going to try everything. But while you try everything, track it. It is very important so you guys can really see what works for you because sometimes it's the simplest strategy that'll make it work.
Yeah, were you always just organized in terms of like, okay, you just said create a trading plan, track your trades, track the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, but were you always just organized?
Yeah. I'm kind of OCD, just a little. Okay. Just a little, guys.
They say that in order to be successful at trading, you need to be a little OCD.
No. I'm not saying this. Trading can be for anyone. You guys just need to have the discipline and you guys need to have the heart to do it. Because if you lose, you have to have the stomach to lose money. But the thing about trading is everybody can't stomach to lose money because they don't know how much they lose. When you guys trade and hop in the charts, you need to know how much you're losing before. Because every time I take a trade, I know worst case scenario, always think about this, right? The worst case scenario is you lose money. But how much money is that?
Oh.
So I can lose, let's say 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. I lose $500, but then or let's say $1,000, right? I lose $1,000. At most, I make $3,000.
Yeah.
So in my head, I already know, hey, I lost. I think, you know what? I lost this trade and I let it play out.
Yeah.
So just always think about how much you can lose because then that takes away the fear.
So is it that every trade you take, before you take them, you tell yourself you're gonna lose 1,000?
I know how much I'm gonna lose, how much I can lose.
How much you can lose, or how much you're willing to risk.
Yes, which is 1% of my account, which is $1,000. And I know that, and I don't switch it up.
You got a big account.
No, or yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, but don't get me wrong, don't start off with 1,000. Like one thing is that we're talking numbers. We're saying $1,000, but I'm just saying, look at percentage, because he just said 1%. I look at percentage. So whatever my account is, I do 1%.
Yeah.
1% of whatever it is, because when you guys take away the money aspect, it takes away a lot of feelings. Because now we're looking at percentages.
Yeah. So let me ask you. So but you have some traders that says you need to risk more, or you need to be a little bit more aggressive. So you have traders that go up to 5% per trade risk, even 10% or even 20% per trade risk. So why do you choose 1% versus 5, 10, 20?
So that goes along with my trading journey. I started off with stock options. Stock options, I was pretty much told 20%. Minus 20%, and then you'll be okay. And then that's when I realized, I'm like, okay, this is working for me, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, 20% is
And I realized with my risk to reward ratio, as long as I know 1% gets me, it compounds.
Yeah.
So it may seem small at the beginning, even if you guys have a $100 account. No matter what, just know you're in for the long run. Because when you start trading, the journey can be long, but it is very rewarding. So just see the light at the end of the tunnel.
So how did you get into the psychology aspect of trading?
I started for me, before I was a nurse, I wanted to get into psychology. So I was always interested in that. And then also when I was diving into trading, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's a mental game. But what is a mental game? Nobody explains that. It's like, well, what is it? I can sit here and tell you all the psychology things, but until you actually go through it, then you will understand. So a lot of it is fear, FOMO, right? Everyone has to say fear of it, and then it's just greed. But what does greed feel like? What does greed feel like to you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough question. What does greed feel like to me? Well, to be honest, I don't believe in greed.
Okay.
And the reason why I don't believe in greed is the fact that I believe that the word greed comes from a person wanting to limit themselves in terms of you're not supposed to have as much as you want. And if you want as much as you want, like it's bad. Like I want to have everything in this world. Oh, why was it bad to want everything in this world? You know, so that's why I don't really believe in greed.
That was good.
Huh?
That was good.
Right?
But for traders, right? A lot of
Yeah.
a lot of people say, "Oh, greed got me,"
Yeah.
because they stay in the charts for too long.
Yeah.
But then what you guys have to start thinking is, where is price going to react? The reason why you're holding is because you think that there's not a reaction point where price will reject and go the opposite way of your trade. So when I'm on the charts, I always have levels of saying, hey, price is going to react here because it reacted in the past.
Yeah.
So now I start thinking, and I'm not exactly getting out of that area. I'm watching it. I go to the smaller time frames, and I'm looking at how the candles are reacting.
Okay. So what type of trader would you say you are?
I am an intraday trader.
You're an intraday trader.
Yes.
Why you chose that style?
The higher time frames always work for me. But now when I say intraday, right, everyone thinks you hold all day.
Yeah.
No, I set up my charts, and then on the higher time frames, and then I wake up during the session time, and it hits within like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What pairs you trade?
So I trade GJ, which is British pound and Japanese yen, US 30 and NAS.
So why did you choose these pairs?
Because they flow the most at the time that I look at them at 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. When I'm looking at them, one of them always has a perfect setup for me.
What would you consider to be a perfect setup?
At a key level, reversing. So usually at the higher time frames, if it is, let's say, so London session, it will leave fair value gaps. So what it's going to happen is at 5 o'clock, I can see, okay, we're at a key level, but it's not rejecting the 4 hour. So now it's not rejecting the 4 hour and it went down all night. What is the only direction it's going to go?
What is the direction?
It's either consolidating or going to go up.
Okay, cool.
So, I mean, you know, that's pretty much it.
All right, so in terms of like the specific strategies that you trade, like what are some tips you would give somebody right now that want to actually get into trading?
So if you guys want to trade my strategy, I go 4 hour and I look at the key level. So look at basically support and resistance on that. And then I find key levels and then I go down to the 1 hour. And I find key levels within that. And then also I found reaction points. Reaction points again is where price reacts on the charts. And then I start looking at it on the 15. And then when I'm ready to enter for a trade, I look at it on 5 and maybe 1 minute, but that's maybe.
That's maybe.
Yeah.
So in terms of like, back a little bit of the psychology. Because you do the summarizing of books and stuff like that for people. Like what made you decide you're gonna do this and you're gonna read so many books, like 1,000 books or so?
Thousands a lot, but no.
I feel like she read 1,000 books too.
I get it, because you have to think nowadays in America, nobody has time to read.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. You know, I understand that everyone's working a 9 to 5. I'm not expecting you to say, hey, read this book. And as much as you or everybody might agree with me, I'm like, you know what, I might as well put summaries for everyone that's in my community. So it's worth it. It's a less than 5 minute read. You look at it and you get the main points of the book. And it helps them like, okay, key points of this. So then when they are ready and when they have the time, they can look at it. Or if it's even a book that interests them. Because I hate getting book recommendations. I'm like, man, that wasn't for me. And then I don't like my time being wasted. So I do that. So
do you send out, like when you read and summarize, do you send it out to them? Do you go on like a meeting and discuss it with them? What do you do?
So I have psychological Saturdays where I read a chapter and then we go over the book points pretty much. And then if you miss that thing, then it's like, okay, you will have the PDF version. I make sure that there are three or four different types of learners. I forgot the number, but just trying to get into like all learners, their level, because there's different types. There's audio, there's visual. So then now I'm mixing it with the both. So I make sure I tend to everybody's needs.
So say for instance, I'm a trader right now and I'm struggling with, for example, blowing my accounts, or I'm struggling with not making money. Based on your experience and the amount of books that you've read and just all that you've been through, what would your best advice be to stop blowing accounts, to start making money, to live that higher life that I want to live?
Go to how many trades you take a day. Because blowing accounts, that sounds like overtrading to me right now, like right off the bat. Like, okay, you're overtrading, because I had a student that was blowing accounts. Man, every day, and then they just buy another one, you know? But it's a cycle, and I get that. But now when I broke it down, okay, how many trades are you taking a day? 10. Okay, that's kind of a lot, you know? For me at least. But now everyone's different, so I walk them through it. I'm like, okay, how many trades are you really winning till you lose? He was winning 8. So that means on his last 2 trades, he was losing, you know? So then I'm like, okay, cut that down by half. So I'm like, take 5 trades, see how it is, because he was a scalper. So again, these numbers are higher because you're trading on a lower time frame and you're making multiple trades. That's totally fine, okay? So going to the person's needs. So if you're a scalper, it's good to just limit the amount of trades that you're taking.
And so that's one part of the question. But what if
Yes.
you're an intraday or a swing trader? How do you not blow your account?
Have a stop loss. Blowing account means that you didn't manage your risk properly, right? So that's probably because you don't know how much you're going to lose. So know how much you're going to lose, because then you can make that calculation of, hey, my account's at this much. I only want to lose this much percent a day. So know that percentage, and before you enter the charts, you should already know how much you're going to lose. And once you're at that, let's say you have a red day, right? You have a negative day. You lost your 1%. Get off the charts. Close your laptop. Close your phone, and don't be on it. No. Don't take it too hard, because if not, you're going to think about it, and then if you remain on, because I've done it.
Yeah.
You know, I sit on my computer and I'm like, I'm thinking about that trade, and then you start revenge trading. Yeah. So now that's going to the psychology of revenge trading, saying, oh, I can make the money back because you've made it before. And now you're holding on to the potential of what you did before. But your mind's not in the right place, because you're just taking trades trying to get the money back, and you're not thinking exactly why is price going the way you think it is.
Okay, so in terms of leveling up to that higher level of success as a trader, right? How does your psychology help you to do that? You know, what type of mindset do you need to have to get to that higher level of being a successful trader?
Discipline and patience. Your job as a trader is to wait. Wait for your setup. Wait for what works for you. Just because you see everyone else making money, and don't compare. Comparison is a thief of joy, you know, and that's going to mess with your head big time, because you're going to see traders making 1,000, 100,000, you know, in like sometimes this crazy amount of minutes, you know, 2,000 in 2 minutes. That sounds really good. Yeah. You know, but to look and be like, okay, I'm going to be like that. And then now you have that in your head of, okay, you know, you're striving to that, but that's not where you're at. Yeah. So focus on your journey, no matter where that is. That's the important part.
All right. So what is the top 3 things you'd recommend to somebody just starting out right now?
Write down all your mistakes. I don't care what it is. Write down every mistake that you make, because then you reflect. Self-reflection is something every trader has to do. And when you self-reflect, you understand what is going through your mind. Because when you're on the charts, you don't know what's going through your mind. You know, you're just like on the charts and you're just going, and your mind is getting released with dopamine. And it's almost like gambling. Okay, kind of really bad example, but pretty much. You know, because you're getting the dopamine release, and you're feeling good when you're making money, and you're feeling horrible, like sick. You know, some days I want to throw up. Yeah. Honestly, like when I lose trades, I'm like, oh, that hurt. But it took me a while to stomach it, because I had to realize that I need to disassociate my emotions with what I'm seeing on the charts. So that's my first one, okay? Write down all your mistakes. The second thing I want you guys to do is think about your why, okay? Know why you are doing this, because that will be your motivation, okay? So because motivation, you're not going to have motivation every day. Motivation comes and goes, you know? So you have to have the discipline to be like, hey, this is why I'm doing it. And I have to. When you have that drive, when you have that will, nothing can stop you. And consistency is, like, for me, being consistent is showing up on the charts every single day, but I don't trade every day. Yeah. It's that pattern. It's getting you into, hey, I'm going to look at the charts. If it's not a day for me, that's cool. I'm going to walk away. So have that discipline to walk away and know what works for you.
What's the biggest struggle you've had, or what is the worst experience you've had as a trader, and what has been the best experience you've had as a trader?
Not knowing how to deal with loss.
No.
Because nobody teaches that. Like, that's something you have to go through yourself. And also another thing would be like, why isn't it working out for me? Like when I was trying to learn from everybody, I was trying to do everyone's strategies, and I was just getting really, really frustrated because what works for them is not working for me, and I don't know why. Yeah. And now that drives me crazy, because I see these people making money with this strategy, and I'm not making any money. Yeah. You know, it's like, how is that possible? But then it just took time for me to learn, hey, this is self-reflection. This is a problem within me, because I reflect what I do on the charts. Yeah. That's really me, you know? So everything that you show, the emotions and everything, will show up on the charts. You know, if you're having a bad mental day, don't even trade. And some days I'd be like, okay, you know what? I thought consistency was trading every single day. Yeah. You know, okay, yeah, I'm going to trade, make money. Okay. And then I blow my account. Yeah. That's not consistency. Consistency is having discipline. You know, it's a mix of the two. Yeah. You know?
So let me ask you, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to throw this out here. Well, let me ask you after I ask you this. What has been the most or the best experience you've had as a trader?
Understanding my wrongs.
Yeah.
Yes. And making my strategy. My strategy works for me. Yeah. And now I just follow it. Brainless. Takes me 10 minutes to go on the charts. 10 minutes to do my analysis, and then I wait.
How do you manage, like, a lot of people reaching out to you as a mentor, as well as, like your personal trading as well. How do you manage that?
So right now, reaching out to me, I do have 15-minute free consultations, okay, that I can offer free. I mean, you hop on a call with me, I do that. Because I think it's important, not like just for me choosing a mentor, but also who I want to teach.
Yeah.
Because it's important to know who I'm working with. I'm not out for your money, I'm out for your success story.
Yeah.
I want to work with you if you have what it takes, and that's working with your goals. And if you understand the long goal of trading and just like getting to know you as a person. So that's how I deal with reaching out to me. And what was the second question?
The next question is going to change now because I have something more interesting to ask you, right? So people reaching out to you, for example, you have a lot of time wasters and stuff like that, or people who they say that they're serious and they're not. How do you deal with that? Or how do you deal with like people who, they want to do this, but they just, probably it's just something is just blocking them. How do you deal with it? How do you help them remove that blocker?
I ask them questions. I'm being honest. You have to kind of ask them and to help with my time, anybody who tries to waste my time, but I give them free resources. I always get back to like, hey, you know what, read this and then you can come back to me when you have a little bit more clarification on what you want from me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a magic button, guys. Don't think I'm going to make you money, It's more so like I want to make sure you know how to make money without me.
Yeah.
I want to set you up where you don't even need me on the charts. I have people who graduate from me where it's like, hey, you can be in touch with me, but you don't need me, and that's the best feeling ever.
Okay, so where can people find you in terms of like your resources and stuff like that?
Resources, I'm on Instagram and on YouTube, ShahizaAA.
Shahiza Trades.
And then, for my videos and stuff, I go by Hiza Trades.
Hiza Trades. All right, and then in terms of accessing the free consultations, they can just go to you.
Yeah, it's my link in my bio. You guys can click that and you guys can book your appointment.
I want to ask you something crazy, guys. Somebody throw a question at me. Yes. If you went back in time, what would you tell your younger self?
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yes, man. We got you now. She just answered them, We got
Keep going.
Now. Huh?
Keep going. Know your why, because that would save me a lot of time.
How long did it take you to like know your why though?
I would say when I was profitable. So
Very profitable.
3 years. Like I didn't really understand knowing your why. I didn't understand what it was. But it's more so like now I have enough to be like to teach people. And now that's one thing that I wish I learned, is when you know your why, that's stronger than anything. That should be why you get out of bed. Like there's people with kids, let me use that as an example. They get up for their kids. They're doing this all for their kids because that is their why, because their heart's in it.
So what if somebody doesn't have a why? Would you recommend them not to start trading?
No, you have to have a why.
What
no
if
matter.
somebody doesn't have one? You have a lot of
Then
people
try
that
it.
don't have a why.
Then try it.
Just try.
Yeah,
And
try it and
maybe
see if
will
you like
develop
it.
over time. In terms of your future goals, where do you see yourself in the future?
Scaling myself.
Scaling?
Yes,
What
right
does
now
that
I'm
mean?
pretty small. Like I'm talking about like business-wise, right? And I want to share this knowledge. I really have a small community because I'm focused on quality over quantity. I'm really big on that. And I want to make sure everything that comes from me is quality. I never want it to be like, oh, okay, well, I could have Googled that,
Yeah.
I always want to be giving value. Value is the most important thing to me, and it helps my reputation, and I'm very honest. And I want to be giving it to you straight. I don't want to be saying, hey, buy this, buy that. Oh, for a package of whatever, you get more. No, you get it how it is. So as I can scale, I can reach out to more people.
Okay, so you just do live consultations, or do you have like a course or stuff like that?
I have a course right now, but I'm working on getting something bigger. So that's kind of in the works. But if you schedule a consultation with me, we can see if we can make it work.
But what if let me ask you, are you in terms of the consultations, right? If somebody if say for instance 1,000 people should reach out to you right now, how would you handle that?
Well, I have consultation blocks. You can't make an appointment. You know what I mean? It's only for a certain amount of time.
Right,
so there's a certain amount of books that I can make, and it's not like I can be overbooked. Or you and your friend can't book for the same time.
Okay, so it's just one-on-one strictly.
Yes.
So what if somebody wanted to go hours and hours with you?
But I talk to them, during the call, and then I'd say this is the game plan.
Okay, and just create a full strategy for them to be successful.
They can book a one-on-one with me. So then with the 15-minute consultation, I kind of go over. So to help with everybody getting a clear image of what I do and what I can provide, I go through that first and then talk to them about what services interest them.
Okay.
So that's the one-on-ones. That's the mentorship, and then that's like the lifetime thing as well.
And then you have the free ebooks that
Yes,
can
of
actually go
course.
through. And then you have a book that's about to come out as well too.
Yes, I do. So I have 2 books. I have a psychological book that is really good. And this is going to be dropping, and it's going to amaze you guys because it's going to save you a lot of time if you apply it. The main thing is to apply what I'm actually putting in my books. Because if you don't apply it, it's just going to sit there. That's it.
All right.
But then I also have my course in a book.
In a book.
In a book. Because I want to make it more accessible to everybody. As a lot of people are like, oh, this and that about courses, you know? But if I make it in a book, that means you have to apply it yourself. You have to understand it. It takes a little bit more work on your end. But when you're ready to me, you can book a one-on-one and we can get everything straight.
All right. So how do they access the, do you have a website?
So this will be on my website. Yeah. So on my Instagram,
On
you guys
Instagram.
can see my link in my bio and then it's all there. You can
Alright.
buy it on there. You can use, I have a card processor. So everything's straight on that.
All right. And they get access right away.
Yes, of course.
What advice would you give to somebody that is not as technical as you or can articulate themselves as well as you to be successful at trading?
To be successful at trading, guys, a lot of it, I get, oh my goodness, trading is a lot of math, you know? But when you're looking at it, guys, all I see is shapes and patterns. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Like for me, when I look at a chart, I don't see nothing. I just see shapes and patterns and I understand it. So as technical as I can make it seem, because I can use all these big words and stuff, break it down to something that you understand. Like supply and demand is support. Like basically I call that support and resistance, right? So the support is going to be the bottom and then the resistance is going to be your roof. So think of it like that. So now when you take, we're going to use support and resistance, for example. Support and resistance, we call the support the bottom, the top, resistance the roof. And you can keep those simple terms, you know? And the roof is where price stops at, basically at the top of the chart. So when you're looking at it, okay, hey, price is lingering around this area at the top and then at the bottom. Literally like line up the, to lack of words because I don't have an actual demonstration, but you know, the bottom of the chart and then the top of the candlesticks. And if you put a rectangle around it, a lot of the times it'll align.
Yeah.
Don't make your rectangle too thick. Make it, I'd say like, I can't even describe it, but yeah.
Wick to base. And
Yes,
stuff like that,
yeah. You can use your wicks and you can say, hey, all of it's touching this around this, and you'll see the area.
Yeah. All right, then, and if you guys want, you know, more information or, you know, a deeper dive into her strategy, you can follow her on
Instagram at ShahizaZZaa.
Hiza Trades, and we're going to put it in the description, and it's going to be on this video, as well as comment, you know, any questions that you have for Shahiza and Hiza Trades, and you know, any suggestions that you have, and you know, you can always reach out to her and get more information on all that she has to offer. She helps with psychology, she helps with the trading, she has advice on credit, she has advice on how you can actually build. It's just a wealth of knowledge. You know, she does e-commerce as well, and she's into nursing, and that which shows that, you know, like you could be doing anything, you could be working a job, and you can use your trading as a tool to actually fund your dreams of your passion. For example, her passion is being a nurse. She wants to start a nursing business, and she's using trading to fund that business, as well as having passive income streams like Amazon and other different things that she can actually teach you. So you can actually reach out to her for all of that and more. She has a free ebook as well, right? As well as she has free coaching sessions where you don't have to be scouring through a bunch of YouTube videos or Google pages to find information. She has everything for you. So go and follow her. Be sure to follow us at the Billionaire Podcast. Be sure to follow me at Pajama Billionaire, and be sure to let her know whenever you're reaching out to her that you're coming from the Billionaire Podcast. You know, so see you guys on the next episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and you know, let us know what you want to see next on the podcast. Be sure to comment. I'm looking in the comment section, and we'll see you guys next time.